in 2002, Richard Barbieri called me and said that Chris Maitland, the previous drummer, had left the band. They needed to go to New York to record In Absentia. He knew I was a session drummer, and he said, "Can you come? It's in about 3 weeks. It's very last minute, but can you come and make the album as a session drummer?" So I said, "Yeah, sure." I met Steve and Colin. I knew Richard for about 10 years before, and I listened to the new material. I had a little chance at home to practice some of the songs, and then we went to New York. We recorded the album. I recorded the drums in about 4 or 5 days. I mean, I'm used to doing sessions as a session drummer. And then I came home. It was all very easy. After I came home, they invited me to join the band. I thought maybe it was the right time for me to be a band member, because since 1979, I'd been working as a session drummer, playing on records, playing on tours, you know, never being the member of a band, but just being a hired hand. So I thought it was a good time to see what it's like, join a band and see how that works out. And we went out on tour, you know, to support In Absentia, and the rest is history, really. It just kind of got better. It wasn't really a huge success. I mean, it's an important record, I think, but you know, we were playing very small places to very small amounts of people, and I don't think we sold a lot of records. But for the band, it was a major step. I mean, of course, for me, it was my first step with the band, but you know, they'd had, I don't know, 6 albums out before then, so it was already, for them, it was an important moment in the band's career. Well, I don't think I really experienced the you know, the full cycle until we got to Deadwing, because by the time I played on In Absentia, everything was written and arranged already. You know, the songs were already written and nicely done, so it was very much in a kind of session musician capacity. But when we got to Deadwing, you know, I got more chance to get involved in the composing, I got more chance to get involved in the production, the mixing, the arranging, every part of it, really. That was the first time I kind of really experienced the band member thing, you know. You know, it wasn't like okay, we're going to allow you some space. I just did my thing, as I always do. I just did my thing, and luckily it fitted the style of the band, you know. It's hard to know, you know, when people ask me about the Porcupine Tree albums, because we worked on them so much. Like this new album, we've worked on it for about a year, so I'm sick to death of it. I can't listen to it anymore. Maybe in 5 years I will have a good perspective about the incident. You know, I can now listen to In Absentia and Deadwing with a more objective view. But at the time, we worked on it, you know, every day for months. So you just lose objectivity about listening to the record. I don't really see such a massive progression. Maybe the people who listen to it see more of a progression. You know, we play our own, it's our own personalities. You know, the sound of the band is the 4 guys playing. Now, in the last 7 years since I've been in the band, lots of things have happened in my life, and those things make a difference to the kind of person I am. I think your personality is really the biggest defining factor. You know, things happen in your life, and those things affect your mood, and those things affect your creativity. And I think that the 4 of us, you know, have grown individually, and so the sound of the band now probably is different to In Absentia. You know, you could probably hear a big difference in the sound of the band in Absentia than, let's say, you know, Stupid Dream or Light Bulb Sun. And I think that's because of the way that I interact with the other 3 guys is different perhaps to the way that Chris interacted with the other 3 guys. Not better or worse, just different. So the 4 of us respond to each other and you know, our sense of humour and our personalities kind of collide, and it creates a sound that is of that moment. You know, if I listen back to a record I made, let's say in the early 90s, I can hear what I was thinking, you know, 18 years ago. I can hear in the way that I'm playing, I can remember my frame of mind and my mood from that period. So each record becomes a little kind of personal window of your life. Not only the songs and the meaning of the songs and the arrangements, but the way that you were thinking and the way that you played at that time is very much of that kind of period of your life. You know, I can remember being in New York and playing in absentia. I can remember it very clearly, and the mood I was in. You know, it was a very new, exciting experience for me. And when I listen to In Absentia, I can almost hear that in my expression. Sounds pretty deep, but if anything, deep down, probably a jazz drummer. But I say if anything because I don't so much, you know, align myself with genre as much as some people do. You know, I've played so many different styles of music in my life, and I start to see a similarity in all kinds of music, from jazz to heavy metal, especially from a drum point of view. Of course, the type of drumming you would do in heavy metal is very different to the type of thing you would do in jazz, but there's still a lot of similarities in structure, in tempo, in groove, and the way that you build a song and the way that you think about the arrangement. And I just try to think of it as good music and bad music according to me, according to my taste. And I try to stay on the side that I think is good music. You know, when I work on a piece, or even when I'm writing, I know more where I don't want to go than where I do want to go. I have a set of constantly moving cliches and ideas in my head that I want to avoid. And normally steering through all those things, I arrive where I want to get to. But it's, you know, I suppose it's just maturity. You grow up and you think, okay, I've done that, I don't want to do that anymore. That feels like old hat to me, or this feels like a cliche to me. So I'm going to steer past these things and arrive at where I want to go. Before Porcupine Tree, I played very little heavy music. In 1986, I did a tour with Iggy Pop. That was probably the heaviest stuff I did. And then I went through a long period of funk and R&B music and pop music. And it was only in 2002 when I started with Porcupine Tree that more metal-edged stuff came about. And it's a great challenge for me. I can see there's fantastic rhythmic possibilities inside heavy metal that are different to other styles and other kind of possibilities you can do with other kinds of music. I really enjoy playing it. I don't think of myself as a heavy metal drummer for 1 second, but I love to have a go at it, you know.